We get a lot of calls to our law firm saying, hey, I was suspended for Section 3, Section 3, Section 3, right? We sort of hear it all the time. Section 3 references Section 3 of the Amazon BSA, the Business Solutions Agreement. Section 3 really says that Amazon can suspend you at any time. If they give you guys 30 days notice, they can suspend you for convenience, which means upon their convenience. Whatever they want to suspend you for, they could suspend you for as long as they provide you with 30-day notice. Amazon can suspend you if they provide you with some sort of violation notice and you're unable to cure it within 7 days. If Amazon says in their language that they don't have to provide you with a cure period or any sort of notice if they believe that the use of your services harms or might harm other sellers, customers, or Amazon's interests. So they're saying essentially, we'll give you notice, 7-day notice and time to cure it if we believe that your services may not harm us in the future or have not harmed us. What they're saying is they're going to be doing a little bit of predicting the future, Minority Report, right? I don't know how they can suspend someone for something that might harm them. Second term that's so broad is Amazon's interests. Anything and everything right now could be considered to be in Amazon's interest. That's why I always say Amazon can suspend you for whatever reason they want. Those 2 points I think are very, very huge and unfairly broad. Other reasons they could suspend you for fraudulent activities, for illegal activities, if your account health rating falls below the thresholds, that all makes sense. And the last thing is if it's required by law. What that means is if they've got a court order and another proceeding or another litigation lawsuit, then they could suspend you. Still sounds fair. What really stands out is what any of your activities might harm Amazon, they could suspend you without notice, or if any of your activities affect Amazon's interests. Super broad. Section 3 suspension, what Amazon refers to, that's really not the violation. In our experience, Amazon will sort of cite Section 3 anytime there's a seller code of conduct violation. That's usually when we see it spring up. I also want you guys to understand how unfair this balance is, this agreement between Amazon and sellers. If this was a normal fair ground agreement that we were entering in, meaning if me and you were entering into this agreement and we both had the same leverage, if we both had the same power, same dynamic, same leverage, if I presented these terms to you, you'd say, Mario, you're completely out of your mind. But here, that's the agreement that most of us are in. If you're outside the US, it's a little bit different. Same dynamics, really same thing. There is some good news. Amazon's got their BSA agreement, but we still have contract law to help us. And every contract here in the United States comes with what's called an implied duty of good faith and fair dealing. And implied duty of good faith and fair dealing says both parties or all parties to an agreement, they must be fair in their dealings and must not take advantage of the other party and must abide by the agreement and do as they promised inside the agreement. So perform in good faith and fair dealing. Inside the agreement, you've got obligations to go ahead and fulfill orders, not violate anyone's IP, and obviously not abuse any of Amazon's systems. But it also means that Amazon must go ahead and adhere and comply with their policies. If they're going to suspend you for any of their policy violations, then it should be fair. It should be a reasonable understanding of what the suspension was for, and they should be doing it, again, very, very fair and honest way. And they should be able to justify that if they ever are brought to answer for that, which is almost always in arbitration. Even though Amazon has all of these ways of suspending you, it still doesn't mean that they can, number one, keep your inventory, or number two, keep your funds. Just because you breached the agreement, even if you did, doesn't mean that they could keep the inventory that you've got at FBA, no matter how much it's worth, or does it mean that they could keep the funds that they're currently holding, funds that you earned because you sold products and they also profited from. This isn't a very fair contract, but I want you guys to understand what Section 3 is. Know that they could suspend you for any reason, but you still have rights. If there's anything that we could help you with at ESQgo, give us a call. All the information will be below. Thank you. I'll see you next.